Infinite Lives, this ain't my first rodeo. Yeah, okay. Mega Man Shattered Diamond is a fan game I heard about last year when I played Y+1 and Perfect Blue, two other really promising demos. But this game didn't have one back then, so I kind of forgot about it until I saw the Sage 2022 trailer and was like, wait, that's the— Immediately, my brows raise, pupils dilate, blood pressure spikes like a hydrophobic Mrs. Puff. Few things get my heart to flutter like a classic Mega Man trailer. I had a hard time falling asleep that night. I was so excited. I know Sonic is my bread and butter right now, and he probably is my second favorite franchise, but the McGeegaman is my boy, my guardian. He has been with me since the beginning and is responsible for shaping a lot of my tastes, not just in games, but life, maybe even women. That's alarming. Team Circadia have been working on this for 5 years and have bestowed upon us a playable demo of 3 Robot Master stages as either Mega Man or Bass. Proto Man is confirmed, he's just not in yet. I've only played as Mega Man for the time being, but I know Bass gets his own unique routes in the stages, making him the Knuckles of the game, so to speak. The presentation is spot on, the music all sounds like Mega Man music. You know how you can just tell? We'll see if any of it reaches the heights of the franchise's musical legacy, but for now, it's off to a good start. I love Mega Man's sprite in this game so much. I think the traditional look will always be the best way to portray the character, but I like seeing other artistic spins on the style. The speed lines when sliding are great, damage values are on by default, a skull appears over your head when you die. Animations are so smooth and appropriate across the board. The way enemies will be surprised by their own function, or when Mega Man gets mud on his face and these bugs are like, yo, I need a piece of that. Look at Diddy Kong's face of sheer terror when you beat him. His entire reality has been shattered. His hands fall off his body. This is a Kenshiro level victory right here. The details all around are fantastic. I love the color palette, and there are a lot of customizable options to mess with. Health bars going horizontal instead of vertical, pause on item pickup, life display, there's a timer you can enable. Mega Man never even had that. It was one of the few games of its time that opted out. Choices like this are pretty cool for tailoring the adventure to your liking, especially on repeat visits. Although I do believe there is such a thing as having too much control over the experience, mainly in regards to difficulty. I think having an easy, normal, and hard mode is generally an acceptable structure, but when you can alter things like the life count to be whatever you want, spike damage not being an insta-kill, extra checkpoints, it becomes less about experiencing what the developers made for me, and more like my version of what they made for me. The difference is, I didn't make the game. So really, until I've fully completed it, how would I know what's best for its overall health? It's cool to be able to choose if spikes are a one-hit KO or not, but at the same time, shouldn't the game already be designed around that idea? If everything is good and balanced, I shouldn't feel the need to change any of it. It's a fine line to walk, and I'm not necessarily calling out this demo in particular for it either. Heck, without this menu, I wouldn't have had the option to disable Infinite Lives to get that classic setup, so it's a two-way street for sure. The bottom line is to simply be aware of how much power you give your players and make sure not to rely on those customizations as a crutch to not balance your game. Of course, in this instance, it's a public demo to a non-profit fan game that caters to an audience that knows what it wants, so I should probably just shut my pedantic mouth and pick what I want, which is what I did. I understood pretty quickly why Infinite Lives were on by default, though. Shattered Diamond missed the part where that's its problem and decided to humble all who approach it. This ain't no Four Hounds or anything, but there's a lot of, yeah, and some, and ooh. The instant kill felt like it was perhaps 5% more in your face than I would prefer. Rock and Roll had the best balance. I mean, it had the best everything. If you haven't heard of the masterpiece Mega Man Rock and Roll, I have a full review of it. It's free. Check it out. But its approach to balance is unparalleled and is what every fan game can learn from. Shattered Diamond is basically there for the most part. Nearly all of my deaths were my fault and could be seen a mile away. Like, why did I jump here? What did I think was gonna happen? There were only a few moments of, hey, let's ride the never mind. But even then, I wouldn't care if they left it in. It's pretty minor. Makes for a great shortcut when you know the spikes are there. Lets you skip the horrifying camera jitter. Vertical scrolling has rarely worked for Mega Man, and I don't know if it will here. I'd imagine that's why these are the only 2 screens that use it. There's another concerning death in Jungle Man's stage due to a misunderstanding of the gimmick. Early on, you see that getting mud on you will shorten your jump and attract the bugs. Then we bounce on the flowers, observe how they open, but then you get to this room combining the 2. It covers you in mud again, presumably to fight the bugs with, and then washes it off of you before you can bounce. Yes, I know that the mud shortens my jump, but I don't know that it also shortens the flower bounce because I haven't had a chance to try that. That's an assumption we have to make, and if that doesn't work, you die. I thought I had to slide over it or something. They put the checkpoint right before this, so I assumed they knew it might be confusing. In hindsight, I immediately figured it out after one death, but having a safe room where we have to bounce with mud on would clarify the weight difference. This carries over into some parts of the boss fights. Now, they're already hard. They kinda destroyed me. Switchman and Breezeman in particular wanted that mega corpse. I know how they work now, but figuring it out? Holy smokes, they were fast. And that's a good thing. Breezeman, I take no issue with. Great fight, fast, changes direction a lot, intuitive weakness. He has seen God. Switchman is great too, but he has some RNG in this phase where he can materialize his next attack in my path while I'm actively dodging his previous, and that did not give me much room to maneuver, if any. Jungle Man is rocking some Mega Man 1 AI where he jumps when you shoot. Great fight when I understood that. Took a few deaths to figure it out. Barring those exceptions, I was very impressed with what I played, and I can't wait for the full release. If this is any indicator for the quality up ahead, we're in for a good time. Levels are more puzzle-ish this time, and not to a tedious degree where it slows down. Although there are a couple rooms that feel less exciting to replay when you die and respawn due to their preliminary nature, or some that I felt more encouraged to speed through rather than actually participate in, but that is far outweighed by some truly genius stage design. I think Switchman's might be my favorite, which is crazy because that's a Yoku block stage, but they put a lot of spins on it, like the red variants that shock, the gold with an enemy that respawns on top, a lights out mechanic actually done right, revealing hidden blocks and powering down certain objects. Some enemies can even push the switch themselves. I love to see that kind of interaction. How about this heart attack inducing jump? They knew what they were doing. There's a lot of intelligent problem solving. Jungle Man is chock full of that stuff, where you really gotta plan your next move, take a moment to observe, and then act in the moment. Breezeman's was the only stage that could maybe use some stronger commitment. I feel like it's caught in between a speedrun flow state and a stressful precision platforming gauntlet like Tornado Man. The final segment looks a lot scarier than it is. It's actually quite simple and not much harder than some earlier screens in the stage. So a smoothing of the difficulty curve would probably be the best course of action. Maybe trim the vertical scrolling and really dive into the airship motif. Aside from that, I thought all the damage values were fair, E-tank and 1-up grabs were fun, the weapons were great to mess with. I can see a lot of tech with the monkey claw, speed running with the fire tornado, and what is this, a tsunami? Okay, yeah, this is awesome. Very excited to play this when it's finished. They have done an excellent job so far. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, don't forget to check out the next episode whenever I post it, which will probably be soon. Alright. See ya.